Hi, I'm Lorna. I'm the Head of Operations here at X1 Sales and Lettings, and today I'm going to be asking Melissa lots of questions.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm the Managing Director at X1 Sales and Lettings, and I'm really excited to have this conversation today to discuss all things lettings.
So how has the start of 2026 felt for lettings on the ground compared to where we were this time last year?
Well, I think the industry as a whole has had an awful lot of noise around the Renters' Right Act, and that's sort of predominantly been at the forefront of all the updates and anything I've seen online in regards to lettings or any forums or video links, any webinars, all seems to be about the Renters' Rights Act. But I think as a whole, the whole UK economy is really struggling. It's a really difficult time for both people and businesses. Both have a lot less disposable income. And so that's forcing people to make some really tough decisions. What we're seeing in our industry is a lot of our buy-to-let landlords are selling up. But what we're finding is a lot of those sales are still going back to buy-to-let landlords. A lot of larger portfolio landlords tend to be sort of seizing the opportunity to pick up new properties and consolidate portfolios, meaning that they can scale up. Across the country as a whole, the rental inflation rates have cooled. However, the good news for us is in the northwest, and Sealing, Manchester is a hotspot, we've actually bucked the trend in rental rises, and we're sort of sitting about 6.3% year on year since March last year. So as a whole, it's probably doing a lot better than how it feels in the press, in media, in webinars. And I'm pretty confident that we're going to have a good year in 2026.
You've talked about how the Renters' Rights Act can create significant process risk with lettings teams. How can AI mitigate that risk?
So you know me, Lorna. I love technology.
Yes, you do.
During lockdown, I discovered a voice note, and that changed my life. So I'm hoping that AI is going to do the same. But I joke. But at the pace at which AI is developing, I think very, very soon we're going to find ourselves in a position where, the AI product will eliminate simple mistakes which do occur from time to time, such as just not failing to register a deposit. That's not going to happen anymore. AI will remove that element of human error completely. And the shift towards AI really validates what I was saying earlier about more professional operators coming to the market, because they expect and they demand professional excellence from us, which can only now be brought through by utilising and embracing AI. I think agencies who don't embrace it fully are at risk of just being completely buried by the Renters' Right Act and all of the administration that comes with it. And they might find themselves in a position where they're not going to be able to deliver much more beyond the basics of what the day-to-day job role is. So as an industry, actually, the timing of the emergence of AI and the Renters' Rights Bill coming into force could not have been better.
Can you give a practical example of using AI to remove human error in a process can help to protect a landlord's investment?
So, I think as a leadership team, you'd really enjoy that, being locked up in a room and thinking of all the different ways AI can help with the pitfalls. Put that one in the diary.
It's in.
But so just one example of where AI can help is AI will be able to flag if a rent review violates the Act, and it will also be able to flag that if to ensure that the correct form has been used. So the emergence of AI is really going to remove errors at source, which is obviously a great thing for you, for our landlords, for our agencies. And it's what real professional landlord operators are going to expect. They're going to expect us as a lettings industry to be a really tight, tech-enabled industry to ensure that we just don't fall foul on the basics. So that's where I really think that AI is going to come into its own and be an integral part of our day-to-day operations.
Great. And then if you use that AI and take it from your best people, where does that free up their time for their focuses? And how is that turned into something tangible for both landlords and tenants?
So this is a really exciting bit. This is the bit that I'm really excited for AI. And I know A lot of people look at it suspiciously and think people are only bringing through AI to cut costs. What I think is, I see within our team, we have got so much talent, so many talented individuals. We've got individuals who've been in the industry a really, really long time, like myself, and have seen how much it's changed, who increasingly year on year have been more and more buried under administration. And I want to free up their time so that they can bring that talent through. We really need to focus, and we've got fantastic momentum. We do loads of events on site already. We do more than I would say most agencies at the moment. We're going to do more and more because what we're finding at the moment is, when I think back to when I was at university, there was none of this surfing the internet. We had to actually physically go to the library, log on. It was more like a paddling the internet because it was so slow. We were interacting with each other. So we'd be sitting in each other's rooms, we'd be listening to a chantage, a rule. It was very trendy. We'd be reading magazines, we'd be using communal spaces, we'd be going for walks, because we didn't have this internet-based life. And we've come away a lot from sort of shared communal housing to individual studios. So where's the human interaction there? You come back and lovely Peter's putting on a sip and paint night, and you think, do you know what, I'm going to go down, spend a couple of hours and do that. I get to know the girl who lives 2 doors down from me, and we might not become best friends, but she might make it to my Christmas card list. She might be the love of my life. You just don't know, but you know then that person by name to knock on their door if you need something, and it is building those interactions together. And as a society, we're coming away from that. So if we can build something where we've got student events, where we've got our team on site, where we're utilising our tenants to be our promoters, word of mouth is so powerful, and that people want to remain in. It's going to reduce voids, and it's going to build demand for our product, which is ultimately our landlord's product. Then that's a really good thing. When I was at uni, I had a hall warden called Colin, and I still remember Colin to this day, and he was just there making fish pies on a Friday. But he was part of my student experience. Now, when people have got an issue, they're told to by Rebecca in the office to direct themselves to Fix Flow. I'm not going to remember that. That's no good to me. You really do want to build those communities, and it's so important.
If you had to summarise a letting agency in 3 years' time, one that had the balance right between human touch and AI, what does that look like?
So obviously we're going to harness AI. We're going to streamline even more our processes beyond what you've done to date. We're going to remove that human error as much as possible, so that our landlords and tenants don't have to suffer the pitfalls of when human error mistakes arise, because they do. And we're going to get that time back, and we're really going to invest in people and human relationships. And as I said, it's really tough out there. So young people under 30s, 5 years ago, they had £20 a week more disposable income than they do today. So they used to have £195 a week spare. Now on average, they've got £175 a week spare. So people are really feeling the pressures. Businesses are feeling the pressures. Landlords are feeling the pressures. If we can use AI to keep our costs as low as possible, whilst generating the best return on investment, giving an excellent service, and utilising AI so our service levels go beyond the basics. And I do believe that bringing through all the community and the people side, we're going to be ahead on bookings. We're going to reduce our voids. We're going to support our team members so that they succeed. We're going to set them up for success. We're going to remove that time pressure, and we're really just going to focus on the fact that we are a customer service industry. And at the end of the day, it's so important because people buy from people. And I do believe if you want to be the best in the business, you need to make sure that your processes are in place and that they're working. And guess what? The Renters' Right Act came in a week ago and the world's still turning. We're all still fine. People buy from people, and to get your voids up, to get the best return on your investment, you've got to invest in your people, and that's really what it comes down to.
Exciting times.
Very exciting. I wonder what Colin's doing now.
I mean, Colin sounds like an old person.
No, he was young.
No, he wasn't.
A young chap making his fish pies, yeah.